Hey leaders, I want to thank you so much for taking time to dive in today. We are in a series here where we are helping you discover your purpose. I believe now more than ever, we need to have extreme clarity around who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. And so I want to thank you for taking the time to engage in this video series. And if you missed the first episode, I want to invite you to go to the YouTube channel and to watch part one, where we lay out a framework that really helps establish a foundation of coming to understand your purpose. Well, today, what I want to do is I want to just dive a little bit deeper into helping you understand your purpose. Now, there's this quote that I love because it constantly challenges me, and it's by John Shedd, and it says, "A ship is safe in the harbor, but that is not what ships are needed for." Man, let me just let that sink in. A ship is safe in the harbor, but that is not what ships are needed for. When you think about your life, there is something that you are supposed to be doing. There is a calling, there is a purpose, there is a destiny for you to fulfill and you to live into. And you are not created to sit on the sidelines and play it small by any stretch of the imagination, but you are created to launch out into this world, to let your light shine, to live out loud, to laugh out loud, and to really make a difference in the world around you, whether it's on a global scale or whether it's just in your family or in your neighborhood. I believe that each and every one of you, there is a divine purpose that God has for your life. And I want you to understand what that purpose is. And so you were created for greatness, but you cannot play it small. And if you play it small, you will abort your greatness, because a ship is safe in the harbor and you would be safe playing it small, but that's not what you were created for. And that's not what you are needed for. We need your skills. We need your gifts. We need your presence in this world. And so today I want to take time to really kind of dive a little bit deeper into helping you understand your purpose. Now, when I think about purpose, like, the reality is that there are a ton of things that you can do. And I love this graphic because what it really helps us illustrate is that there are a number of things that I can do. But what I want to narrow in on is, what is that one thing that I must do? There are a number of things that I can do, but what is the one thing that I must do? And what we want to understand is, what is that one thing? Now, the way that you articulate, the way that you identify what that one thing is what I call the power of constraint. That's right. It's you beginning to understand, like, okay, yeah, I could pursue this endeavor. I could pursue this job. I could go back to school. I could do all these things. But really, what's the one thing that once I do it, it will actually move me further and faster along the path of life that I feel God has called me to be on? Now, in order for us to identify what I like to call your sweet spot, there's essentially three areas that we're going to look at. We're going to look at your passions, we're going to look at your abilities, and we're going to look at the context in which you thrive. And these three components, this is what we call your sweet spot. This helps us to identify what is your one thing that you must do, right? And so the first place that we're going to start is with this idea of passion. Now, the way I define passion is a conviction that becomes contagious because it withstands the test of pain. It's a conviction that becomes contagious because it withstands the test of pain. Now, for example, let me just talk to you. I would be inclined to say that I am passionate about golf, right? I like playing golf. However, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars a week or a month playing golf. I'm not buying the greatest equipment. I'm not going into debt for golf. I'm not waking up at the butt crack of dawn to go out and play golf. And honestly, if it's raining outside or there's inclement weather or it's too hot, I'm not going out there to play golf. So clearly, while I might be interested in golf, golf is not a passion of mine because I'm not willing to, it does not withstand, my engaging golf does not withstand the test of pain. Now, if I was up there playing golf, rain, snow, sleet, hail, if I was going into debt playing golf, if I was every waking moment buying golf magazines and hiring golf instructors, then I might be able to say, you know what, this is really a passion of mine, right? I'm really passionate about it. But if I'm not investing a lot into this thing, then it's really not a passion. It's probably more of just an interest or a hobby. And so when you think about your passions, what I want you to do is I want you to think about what are those things that you are deeply convicted over, that when you live your life and when you talk about it, other people begin to catch it and begin to recognize that, wow, okay, this thing is serious for you, and you are willing to endure pain in order to see your passion come to pass. Right? And so if you were saying, you know what, I'm really passionate about this underrepresented population, or if I'm really passionate about, healthy marriages, or I'm really passionate about, at-risk young people, or I'm really passionate about cars or about motorcycles, whatever it is, like, and I don't want you to think it has to be like some world-changing thing, like, ending world hunger. Like, it could be something as simple as like, man, I'm really passionate about, working on cars. Like, I love it, and I spend all my time working and fixing up cars, and that might be your passion, and which is totally okay. But you know it's your passion because anywhere you are for longer than 5 to 10 minutes, you start talking about it. Like, people get a sense from you that this is something that you are really excited about. You might have even started a YouTube channel over this particular passion. You might have started an Instagram page or a Twitter page, and you're following people who are also really interested and passionate also about this same thing. So think about your life and take a moment. Pause the video if you have to, and think about what is that thing in your life that you are passionate about. What is it about your life that where there is a conviction that becomes contagious because it withstands the test of pain? And once you identify what that is, then you have a better understanding of, okay, here are a few of my passions. Now, one tool that I want to give you that could actually help you narrow in this conversation or narrow in on your passions is this 4 questions that I would love for you to answer. The first one is, what are you interested in, right? What do you enjoy doing? What are your hobbies? Where do you spend your free time, right? Take time and answer that question. What are you interested in? The second one is, what are you excited about, right? What gives you energy? What do you look forward to doing? The third question is, what are you driven by? What must you do? What gets you up in the morning? Where do you feel most alive? And the last one is, what are you burdened by, right? What keeps you up at night? What pain in the world do I sense God wants me to step into, right? Take a look at these 4 questions here and begin to just answer these 4 questions. Take out a piece of paper, maybe take out your phone, take some notes, and start answering these questions. And what I want you to do is that as you're answering these questions, I want you to see if there is any overlap or any words that begin to rise to the surface. Like, man, the same thing that you're interested in is the same thing that you're excited by. It's the same thing that you're driven by. It's the same thing that you're burdened for. And what I want you to do is I want you to then identify 5 words from this funnel that best describe your passion, right? And so take a moment and work through this exercise. You might say, man, I'm really interested in cars, and I'm really excited about new cars that are released or fixing up old cars, and I'm really driven by trying to learn the latest gadgets as it pertains to fixing cars, and I'm really burdened by maybe there's a population that you feel like, man, I would just love to be able to provide them transportation, or maybe it's not a burden. So you might say, well, I'm really excited and interested and driven by fixing up cars, but no, I'm not really burdened by it, right? There may be something else that also fits into those 3 or 4 categories that you're interested in and excited about. Like, take time and really strive to get clarity around what are you interested in? What are you excited by? And what are you driven by? And what are you burdened for? And then begin to identify what are the 4 or 5 things that begin to rise from. Now, it might not just be one. There might be several things that you're identifying that you are actually passionate about. And that's okay. Like, you don't just have to have one passion. You can have multiple passions. But we want to begin to identify what is it that you are passionate about, even if it is 3 or 4 or 5 different things. Now, as you work through that tool and that exercise, another good exercise to do is to ask some people around you. Like, take out your cell phones if you're watching this on your computer or your TV, and take out your cell phones and just send a text message to some of your family and friends and say, you know what? What are 3 words that you would use that would describe my passions? Right? Like, you don't have to give me a sentence. You don't have to give me an explanation. Just give me 3 words that you think 3 things that you think I am passionate about. Right? And see what they say. I would say text, 2 or 3 of your family members. Text maybe 2 or 3 of your coworkers. Text 2 or 3 of your friends. Right? Maybe you have other people that you connect with or hang out with and they kind of know you well. Send them a text message and say, you know what? I'm really trying to understand what my passions are. I would love your feedback. What are 2 or 3 words that you would use that would generally describe the areas that I am passionate about, right? And once you do this, what it does is that input and that feedback, it really helps you to have a clear perspective on, okay, this is what I think I'm passionate about, but this is what other people are saying that I am passionate about. And so it just allows you another perspective. It allows you to better kind of circle your life and see their perspective and kind of adds feedback. And then it helps you to kind of narrow in your focus and say, you know what, man, I really think I am passionate about X, Y, or Z. I'm passionate about cars or motorcycles, or I'm passionate about, politics, or I'm passionate about, helping people and serving the community, or I'm passionate about my church, or I'm passionate about ministry, or I'm passionate about single mothers, right? Or kids who are in the foster care system, right? You really kind of want to narrow in, because understanding your passion is going to be key to understanding your purpose, right? Because I don't believe that your purpose is separate or devoid of you really understanding what it is God has created you and what you are passionate for. I want to tell you that as you are engaging in this process, take your time, right? Take this entire week. Don't just rush through it, right? I'm going to release another video next week, which is going to go deeper into your abilities. But for now, take time this week. Go through that funnel. What are you interested in? What are you burdened by? What are you excited about? What are you driven by? Ask your family and friends, what do they think you're passionate about? And begin to really narrow in your focus on what your passions are. And as you do this, in time, your purpose will become clear. Thanks so much for watching.